We've all had those little and big missteps in our lives. What if they weren't right or wrong? What if they're just choices on the way to consciousness? Welcome to the Missteps of Consciousness TV show with Hayden and Julie.
Yeah.
Fucking you. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, yeah, wow. That's just expanded me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the facilitating of
You're
that.
very welcome. So that's actually to answer your question about what do you do with, like, how do you have that? That's the start of it, being present with all sensations, as opposed to trying to cut off the pain or so it is more just of a presence of being with your body and everything that it feels and everything that it senses.
Yeah.
And not trying to do anything with it, or not thinking that you have to do something with it, or it's got to change right now because it's unpleasant, even though it might not really be that unpleasant. It just, everybody else says it's unpleasant.
You might secretly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well,
And it really is.
I wasn't secretly. I reckon I was enjoying it, but I thought there's, I've decided that because it's pain, it's so intense. I'm not able or not allowed to. I got more not allowed to enjoy that intensity I had this morning, and in my spine.
So what is the inconceivable orgasm that your body could be having that you're trying to make conceivable, which is turning it into pain?
Yes.
Everything that is times because it's trying to create it all.
Yep.
Right and wrong, good and bad, fun pop, and your voice, ambience. I'm here to pod and park.
Fucking pod.
You're talking Potter.
It's an important job.
Potter.
Yeah, it's an important job.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Like my spine's just like, yeah, cool. That's really awesome.
Has your back been hurting? Your spine is just
Yeah, my spine, my middle spine, in the middle of my spine, like my chest on the other side. It's a little bit sore. It has been sore. So now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Are you trying to not be spineless?
Well, yeah, I'm laughing, so fucking hell. Yeah. I can't even say it. Yeah. Fucking hell.
He's good, isn't he?
So everything that brings up times against it is trying to create it all.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pun pop, all nine choice voice, and beyonds. Cool.
So my lovely friend,
Sorry, Connor, our last guest fucking rocked my universe. Like,
right on.
I was.
Who was it?
Like, it just cracked. It was Julie O. Perkins.
And her daughter.
Oh, nice.
Julie and Chris.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we were talking, asking questions, and they asked me a question like you did. Yeah, it's really cool.
Awesome.
I've been asked, so yeah, keep going, Connor.
Cool, yeah, no problem. So to give you a little bit of information what this was, it is actually a friend of mine was working on me, Catherine McIntosh, and my back.
We're having her live on the show.
Oh, right on. Good. Good. Well, that's awesome. So she was actually, and I will say, as the body stuff comes up, I am a regional creator for Access Consciousness. So for anything body, we've got 3-day body classes, and we've also got Right Body for You that is run by a lot of Danielle Carter and a lot of people doing Right Body for You tasters. So Right Body for You is about creating the body you'd really like to have, and everything body, and then the 3-day body classes are going to be running amazing processes for 3 days, and afterwards your body feels amazing. So for those out there that have not done that or tried it, oh my God, it's been far too long since I've had a 3-day body class. It has been on my schedule for a while now. I'm like, oh, my body's like, dude, what the hell? So,
Hayden just did a advanced body class with Gary.
Nice. How'd you like that?
It was really cool. Definitely more space with everything and more of my body being more of my body.
Yes. Yes. I've actually had to start stretching again because it's been so long since I've been in a 3-day body class. There for a while I didn't have to stretch. My muscles weren't getting sore.
Really? Huh. That's a cool
Yeah.
ability.
I was actually, yeah. The first time I had a 3-day body class, it was like I had the 3-day body class. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Within a month, I did my next one, and then within a month, I did an advanced body class after that, and within another month, I did another advanced body class. And then after those 4 months, I was down at sea level, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of those 4 months, I went directly to Colorado and went up to the top of a mountain, so at 14,000 feet at, nearly 3 miles in the air. So at altitude, normally you have to you're like, I don't have enough oxygen. And I'm like hiking through waist deep snow at the top of a mountain to hike over to a really good snowboard run. And I was like, I'm breathing normal.
Huh.
So I wasn't even huffing and puffing. So I was like, well, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
Really cool.
what else is
Can
possible?
you go back to that, like you were talking about Catherine? So Catherine was working on you. So let's
Oh,
just
right, yeah.
back onto
So
that.
she was working on me, and then just something came up where like my back was really starting to hurt a ton, and it was almost like the spine was like, she's like, it feels like your spine is like infusing, and I was like, she asked me a couple questions, and I was like, no, what's coming up is I'm trying not to be spineless, and that's just the awareness that I got, and it didn't really make any sense until we looked up the definition of spineless. Which I'm sure most people know what the definition of spineless is. It's where I'm gonna look it up right now just so I can like quote it, right?
A coward
The existing
like a craven.
the existing definition.
I do have the Oxford 1942 one year too.
That's a good one too, but do go get it.
Yeah, I'll go and get it.
Cool. Cool. Spineless. It's
So for you, Hayden, and when she gets back, oh, there she is.
mhm.
So, Julie, spineless, the current definition of spineless is having no spine or backbone invertebrate. Makes sense. So, but like what we use as it now, really, and mostly since World War II, is lacking resolution, weak, and purposeless. So it's seen as you're pretty pathetic if you are spineless, right? Lacking resolution, weak, and purposeless. So, and then I was like, okay, I knew that aspect of it. So what is the old definition? So I found a definition from the early 1800s that was actually lacking moral. So if you don't have, so basically like invertebrate, and it simply meant you don't function from morals. Which I was like, wow, actually, morals are quite extremely limiting
Judgment.
because they are pretty much just judgment.
Yeah.
Yes. So everywhere you're judging you to not be the spineless, you're destroyed, not great at all.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pump up, all nine.
Right, wrong.
Shorts, boys, and beyonds.
I've always been told I've got no morals.
It's awesome.
And have you been trying not to be?
No, I've always been told I've had no morals. As a little girl to now, I've had people say you have no morals. So that's cool.
That's interesting.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was really like in the definition, if I don't, it might take me a while to like actually find it now, but in the definition, it was really their way of defining the difference between a person and an invertebrate, something that didn't have a spine.
Yeah.
So like a plant doesn't have morals.
True.
right?
Yeah.
A tree doesn't have morals. So those are the invertebrates, those are spineless. So if you have spine, then you're a person, and then you're moral. And it doesn't, so I actually should look up the definition here, because there's a different energy to it than just the moral side.
So this one's from
Just
West
look at my
New. This is, look, I'm showing this one.
Yeah, what's that book say?
So this one is having no backbone, having a weak or flexible backbone, lacking moral fiber.
Yeah, lacking moral fiber.
Yep. Without courage or willpower. Without spines. I like the moral one.
Yeah, so so what you want to look at too is if you look up etymology of a word, so etymology of spineless, there we go. Etymology of
Cool,
spineless.
guys. Thank you, Connor. This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really different.
Thank you, Hayden, and thank you, Julie. Like, you know. We'll put some listening music while Connor just looks this up.
There's like a very specific dictionary, and I forgot it. So really, and then, okay, so that's not even the point anymore. So what we even came to after that is that you're more like an animal. You function more like a tree or like an animal. You don't have morals, and you really just be.
Be.
So everywhere you're using morals to not be, well, you're just trying to create it all.
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
Everyone good, bad, pop, walk all night, shorts, boys, and guns.
Yep.
And yeah, sorry. And somewhere we even got to like a dragon. And then she's like, "Oh my God, have you seen that new dragon movie, like Pete's Dragon?" Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know.
Have you seen it, Hayden?
I know,
No, I
I know what
haven't.
you're talking about. Yeah.
No.
Oh my God, I cried. It's my favorite thing about dragons. I didn't even realize that I thought I was like, oh, but dragons only like, kill people and all that stuff. But in this movie, the dragon is like a giant puppy dog. He's even furry and he's got wings.
Aw.
But so the thing is what I saw in this movie is that it really is, so we can look at the spineless again. So is that the dragon, this puppy dog dragon, could be a puppy dog, like the kindest being on the planet, and it would also breathe fire and like destroy everything.
Yes.
So it's like, and how powerful is that on both sides of the, like?
Very powerful. Well, look at tigers. Look at animals. Like different kinds of animals. They can rip apart an animal. They can kill an animal, and then they can nurture their cubs. They can, they just be. They can loving, caring, kindness.
And the planet has no morals. It goes earthquake.
Yeah. It's not good.
Thousands of people dead. Earthquake.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
it
It goes tornado. It goes hurricane. It goes tsunami.
Here's a beautiful rainforest. Here's some mountains you can climb. Here's some other pretty cool stuff. Here's a sunset. Wow.
Oh, sunset.
Sunset.
Say it again.
Sunset.
Oh. Oh.
Wow.
Cool.
So everywhere you're trying to be everywhere you're trying not to be spineless is everywhere you're not willing to be. Period.
Yeah. And everything that is, and everything that it brings up on that, right and
Yeah.
wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all nine short boys and beyond.
And what gift can that be? Like, being that willingness to be spineless, like, as people see it. Like,
Yeah.
even from how we say it now, the willingness not to have to fight. You're spineless if you don't fight. And what if you don't have to
So really
choose that?
acknowledging.
Yeah.
So really acknowledging that's real. Like for me, when you're talking about that, you and Connor, what came up for me is really acknowledging that that's the energy that I'm asking to be spineless, and that's true and real for me in my reality. That's what I'm asking to be. So
So just be it.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be it. Like choose it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Cool. It's been an hour, by the way, so I'm just making us aware of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we go.
I know.
I was like, I could keep going, but I feel like we should stop. Okay, sounds good.
Well, is there anything else you'd like
Well,
to
this was a lot of fun, Hayden.
Okay,
I'm just wondering if you're picking. I'm just wondering if you're picking that from Hayden. Going, we need to stop. Do we need to stop, Hayden, or
I've got
would
a
you
while.
like to keep going,
I'd
or
like to keep going.
you have to work?
No, we're good.
Oh, if we can, yeah, I don't care. Keep going.
Would you like to keep going, guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm happy. I don't get that we stop. I just know that Hayden has to go for work. But yeah. What else?
Oh, yeah, it's
I'm really
early mornings.
This is going to places where, I've been noticing, Connor, that you've been doing a few online classes. So would you like
Yeah.
to talk about them so people know what you've been doing? Yeah.
They are actually a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, what comes up in the online classes has been just fantastic, really. And they're always different. So what Leeson and I have actually been doing a bunch of is putting on bars trades, or wherever people are putting bars trades on, we link in, and from wherever the heck we are, if we're in the same place or not, we zoom in or do what we're doing right here with this, and talk to people and facilitate and see what comes up, see what we can change.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Hey, Hayden, what if we actually create and get Leeson and Connor?
That wouldn't create
Connor,
much.
sorry.
It wouldn't be enough.
That is times ago telling you, bottom run. Everywhere that I've got it in your head, you're O'Connor. Well, I'm destroying and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad.
You saying O'Connor all the time has my mind going places that I shouldn't talk about.
O'Connor.
And I always... okay, so...
I'm glad you did it, Hayden.
And everywhere that I knew you as O'Connor, so any past lives that I've just known you as that, uncreated, destroyed, or revoke, return, reclaim.
It is Irish, and that's where it comes from. So all the Irish people got rid of the O so that they didn't sound Irish, and you could be mistaken as German or something, maybe, or English.
Hey, so Hayden and I are always creators. So what if we set up and create like a bar swap, or create so you and Lisa can come on and we can do through the missteps. And
let's do that. And I will say that I'll be in Brisbane for the Body Mind Spirit Expo in March.
Well, I'll see you because I'll be at the same. Are you coming to
Expo?
Yeah, and you're coming to the stand, the access stand.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll be at the access stand, running around like a running around like a Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I've been there the last couple of years. I was with Access last year, and the year before I had my own stand, and it's just amazing expo. It's just, and it's getting bigger and bigger. There's over
That's awesome.
50,000 people that come.
That's really fantastic.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest ones, and there's Sydney's got theirs on this weekend. So.
Oh, good, cool. Are you headed down to Sydney for that?
Not this weekend. This weekend we're actually doing some live streaming classes with Graham from South Africa. So I'm on the team with that. So we're doing a children and money live streaming on that. So that'll be fun this weekend. So awesome.
Very good.
So that would be really cool to set up a online class with you, and then when you come down in Brisbane, setting something up with Missteps again too.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll also be doing a Conscious Horse, Conscious Rider in Melbourne a little bit before that time. And then after that, I may do some sort of other class that I don't even know what it is. So yeah, that's about all
We'll be happy to live stream you. We're getting
all right.
We're learning to be the experts in live streaming. So.
This is all.
There you go. It's a good place to be.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Any other question? I'm curious too. How did you actually get into Access Consciousness, the tool, and just Access? What was,
So my sister came across it first, who, if you don't know her, Megan Hill. Or actually my aunt might have come across it first, and I think my aunt had like the bars manual, and my sister was like, looked at it, flipped through the bars manual, and was like, I've got to go do this, and like went and took a class, and has been gung ho ever since. For me, I got into it because she was like, I learned to do this new thing. Can I try it on you? And I was like, okay. And when I got off the table, I was like, wow, I never sleep on my back. And I was asleep for 45 minutes, and I woke up really thirsty. And I was like, well, that's weird. Something obviously was going on, because I feel quite parched, more so than if I would have taken a 45-minute nap. And I don't sleep on my back. Like that flat, that's crazy. Like I couldn't, at that time I couldn't. And I've always had major issues with sleeping and total insomniac and whatever. And then I took a bar, and she was like, hey, do you want to come to a bars class? And I was like, sure, I want to learn this stuff. And I was pretty interested in it. And at the same time, I was like living and working in Boston. And there weren't very many, if any, I don't know if anybody in Boston was doing anything at all. So I really started getting into the tools then, and I don't really remember it all that much, other than I was just focused on I needed to do work. And I really remember just being like, when that movie Limitless came out, I don't know if you remember that movie. I went and saw that movie, and I was like, oh my God, these are the tools. So I've always really loved the aspect, yeah. And actually, I forget, I skipped over a lot there, now that I remember. The very first thing that I actually read about Access Consciousness was Embodiment. My sister gave me Dane's book, Embodiment, and I read that book. And after I read that book, I lost 5 pounds from not changing anything, just reading that book. And I loved everything the book said. I was like, as far as I was concerned, that was what was possible with bodies. And I've always really been a big fan of bodies, like what it can do, what I can do with my body, like seeing how fast I could run, how far I could run, what you're eating, like all just anything body I was interested in. So I think that's pretty much why my sister handed me that book, and I read it in about a day. So that's really what got me started, and the whole body thing has actually always been some of my favorite stuff with Access. So thank you very much for asking the questions about what turns bodies on.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you reminded me, because I totally forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That is how it all got started. Crap. And actually, too, because it was around the time right when I graduated college. So I hadn't had a bars class yet. One of the first few times I was getting my bars run was 2009. I graduated college right when the economy collapsed, and there were pretty much no jobs to be found. And there were still jobs out there that, like, as a civil engineer, I could get, and but I was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds terrible. And there's just a time my sister was running my bars, and she was like, so if you could have any job, what would you want? And, at the time, it didn't even seem like you could do that. You can't just, you got to take what you can get kind of a thing when the economy's in the worst position. And she's like, and I'm like, I don't even know what I would want for a job. Because really, if I looked at it, I didn't even want to go into being an engineer and all that stuff anyway. Actually, had you told me what facilitators did, I would have been like, yeah, I want to do that. But she did say, she was like, do you want a job that's in a city that's diverse and people that are open-minded and all this stuff? And it was like, and I cried at the thought of it. And I was like, yeah, that would be awesome. And within a month or two, I landed a job in Boston because the company was on a hiring freeze, and I was already in the company as an intern. So they talked to me, and they're like, how quickly can we get you out here? And so next thing I knew, I found myself living in a city with an office of awesome people that I learned a bunch from. And I learned a ton about and I learned a ton from engineering that can be applied to consciousness. So it was awesome. And I mean, how cool was that I got to see how powerful just the question is, and actually opening up the possibilities of anything.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
awesome.
this is what I'd like to have, and just go.
And it just showed up. And you were saying with Lisa, things are just showing up for her. Like by her after being in Costa Rica, she's asking things, and things are really turning up within 24 hours by, being pushed. Like I hear a lot of people say the access tools don't work, or asking questions don't work, or you. And I mean, I get like being the question, like what would you say to that? And I mean, you laugh on that because I do. I have a lot of clients saying, Julie, these tools are not working. I don't know what's going on. Or, I've heard it in class, the tools are not working. So what would you say to that? Because what you were showing me and showing me right now is by you willing to be anything, it was just showing up.
Yeah. What I would say to that is anybody that wants to say that to me, I don't care. Moving on. Next person. I'm not going to waste my time trying to convince you that something works when you've already decided it doesn't, because they're not willing to look at where the question has created for them. And they might not even be willing to ask a question. Just like you said, as you look at the different energy in words, so one of the biggest things with access, right, is to actually start being aware of the energy of words, not just the words you speak, what everybody else speaks. And I flip that. Not just what everybody else speaks, but also what you speak. Because as you say a word, you can use the same word 5 different ways and have different energies with them. People might be asking a question, but at the same time, they're still not willing to not look for an answer. They're like, I'm asking for a question, but I've already decided how that's supposed to show up. Like, my question is, what's it going to take to get $1 billion tomorrow? And then they're not willing to be the question of what's it going to take to have $5 million, $5 billion tomorrow, and am I actually willing to receive that?
And when you're talking about looking at it, we were talking about it too. When you're looking at it, you're actually saying being present.
Yeah.
Most people are not being present with the energies, with what they're saying, and with the words. I know when I'm not present, that's when my energy and my words don't match. But when I'm present, it's there.
You're a gift.
Yeah. Thank you. I received that. Ooh.
I had a question, but I lost it, so it like
Changed.
yeah, it changed.
Gone.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So like, because there was a time too recently that I was so stuck on like I had to have a question, like, and I've like where it had to be like what is blah blah blah, and it had to sound like a question. It had to like have a question mark behind it, and I had like all these definitions, and I didn't even realize I had this. I thought that's how questions function, and I had all these definitions about questions were. And I was with this friend that's not at all involved in access consciousness, but he's very, very aware. And I'm driving him to his office, and he just is like told me a little bit of a story, and I didn't even say anything out loud. I was just like curious about a specific thing, and he described something about it, and I was like, wow, thank you. And he's like, thank you. No one's ever asked me that question. And I was like, I didn't even ask a question. So it's like, but that's how the universe can function with you, is just like you said, being the question, and the universe will deliver faster than you can even ask a question. And everything that does doesn't allow that times God's energy to great at all.
Right or wrong, good and bad, fuck and pot, all nine short, please, because it's something you're saying, it's how fast it can show up to. A lot of people like, because I'm quite in the spiritual community with the yoga, like the, choosing to be a yoga teacher. There's a lot of people talk about manifesting. They don't talk about actualizing, and then talking about how, yes, it's still, I get the energy, it's still outside of them. And so when they talk about the universe is still, it's like up here. And so like with the access tools, what it's really shows me that I'm not separate from the universe. I'm not apart from the universe. And so
you are the universe.
And the universe. Thank you.
And then you're like, wait, how the fuck is it that there's 7 billion people on the planet, and if I am the universe, and how is it that everybody else is the universe? And what if it was just a choice?
It's just a choice. To be the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So everything that gets brought up, and anything that gets brought up on this, wow, there was energy on that. Well, we destroyed and uncreated them. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Indeed.
Wow. So what is that, Connor, when people put it outside? Because I notice when people still love their struggle of everything happens for a reason. I'm going to bring this up because this is a conversation I do hear. And it is like the implanted points of views and the explanted point of views of what people are still functioning.
Well, I got to say, people are right. Everything does happen for a reason. They chose it.
Oh my god!
And that's another week done, and another great episode. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as Hayden and Julie did. See you next episode.